when you say come over and spend the night tonight, tonight. When I say I love you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I need you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. You better bet your life. All of them cut you like a knife. I lay on the bed with you. We could make some good records. Your dog keeps licking my nose and chewing up all those letters saying you better. You better bet your life. You better love me all the time now. You better shove me back into line now. You better love me all the time now. You better shove me back into line now. I showed up late one night with a neon light for a visa. But knowing I'm so eager to fight can't make letting me in any easier. I know I've been wearing crazy clothes and I look pretty crappy sometimes. But my body feels so good and I still sing a raise alive every time. And when it comes to all that living, I know what I'm giving. I've got it all down to a T, and it's free. When I say I love you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I need you, you say you better. You better, you better. When I say I love you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I need you, you scream you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I love you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I need you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I love you, you say you better. You better, you better, you better. When I say I need you, you scream you better. You better, you better, you better. You better bet your life. Love will cut you just like a knife.
Bush Radio 89.5.
Welcome to Art Speakers on Bush Radio 89.5 FM. I'm finally back with Art Speakers. I'm so glad. I had a nice 2 weeks vacation, but it's even better to be back for sure. The last track I just played was The Who's, from The Who's, You Better You Bet from The Who, from their 1981 first album Face Dances. And the album cover is a unique collaboration between music and visual arts. Instead of a single image, it features 16 portraits of the band members, who are Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, John Entwistle, and Kenny Jones, and each painted by a different British artist. And this project was organized by Peter Blake. And Peter Blake is the artist famous for designing the Beatles' St. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club band cover. And among the contributing artists were famous British artists David Hockney, Richard Hamilton, Patrick Caulfield, and Peter Blake himself, of course. Each artist brought their own style, resulting in a really colorful and diverse set of portraits. It's definitely worth looking up. So that's the story behind this The Who song. Speaking about stories, let's go straight into the art news of this week. Yo, speak to me. Can you speak? Speak to yourself. Speak to you? Speak to who? Who are you speaking to? Are you speaking? You speaking? Let's speak about art. Art Speakers on Bush Radio 89.5 FM. Here's your daily dose of art news. It's the stories shaping the world of art right now. And we have, according to VRT News, the prestigious World Press Photo Award has been won by Palestinian photographer Samar Abu Alouf. Her winning picture shows 9-year-old Mahmoud from Gaza, who lost both his arms after an Israeli attack. And today Mahmoud is learning to use his feet to write and hopes to get prosthetic arms soon. The photo tells not only Mahmoud's story, but also the story of a war that will affect generations. Samar Abu Alouf, who fled Gaza, now lives in Doha in Qatar, and World Press Photo praised photographers who risk their lives to show the world these important stories that need to be told. And 2 other strong photos were also selected, one showing Chinese migrants at the US-Mexico border, and the other showing the effects of drought near the Amazon River. And then in the Netherlands, the town of Maashorst accidentally threw away 46 artworks, including a valuable Andy Warhol silk screen of Princess Beatrix. And the artwork is worth about 2019 700 rand, went missing during renovation of the town hall after 2 municipalities merged. And external report says the artwork were badly managed and probably ended up in the trash. And it's unlikely the Warhol piece will ever be found. At the same time, 2 other Warhol artworks were stolen from a gallery nearby, but those were connected to a break-in. And Andy Warhol was a famous pop artist who turned everyday images into iconic street painting works. His Region in Queen series from 1985 includes colorful portraits of 4 queens, including Princess Beatrix, who is lost now. And then, according to The Guardian, artists and activists are working to revive Johannesburg's the crumbling city of gold. The artists provide creative places and visible art in the city. Many poor residents live in dangerous, overcrowded buildings with no basic services, while richer areas like Sandton continue to grow. Volunteers from the Yosi Mi Yosi coalition are trying to clean up the city without pushing out poor communities, but many fear that regeneration projects still leave the poor behind. And Johannesburg, one of the most unequal cities in the world, faces growing problems with water, electricity and political instability. As the city prefers to host the G20 summit this year, residents like artist Ndaya Ilunga say that they are proud to be part of Johannesburg creative energy, even as they fight for a place in the city. And then lastly, according to the Art newspaper, a judge in New York has said that the Art Institute of Chicago must give back a drawing by Egon Schiele. The drawing, called Russian War Prisoner from 1916, was stolen by the Nazis from Fritz Grunbaum, a Jewish performer who died in a concentration camp. The museum bought the drawing in 1966 and showed it for many years, but now the judge says that the museum must return it because the papers showing how the museum got it are now trustworthy. And other museums have already returned Schiele's artwork to Grunbaum's family. The Art Institute of Chicago said that they are disappointed and may still try to appeal. Those were some stories that are happening now in the art world. So that was the art news of this week, and we will continue art speakers with Save Me from Emma.
89.5 FM. 89.5 FM.
Every time I close my eyes, yours and mine, suspended in time, they're all around me. The clock is frozen, hands hang on a fire, and I'm the night somebody save me. Oh, won't you save me? 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 Save me, please. Save me. Save me. Oh, won't you save me, please? Save me. Save me, please. 'Cause I'm not whole anymore. Broken pieces on the floor. Somebody save me. I can't cry anymore. No one's walking through the door. Somebody save me. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from myself. Save me. Save me from myself. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me. Save me, soothe me under the waking movement. Save me, soothe me, feeling the pain might lose me.
That was Save Me from Emma Jean Thackeray, a British musician, and it's from our latest album. But it's now time for the weekly interview of this week. You're still tuned in to Art Speakers on Bush Radio 89.5 FM, and this week I had the chance to speak with South African artist Luxolo Witvoet, and I was very excited to speak to him. Actually, I'm a big fan of his artworks, and he's a multidisciplinary contemporary artist. I would say let's hear it from himself in this week's interview with Luxolo Witvoet. Hi, Luxolo, how are you?
Hey, Camille, I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you for letting me talk to you.
Thank you for the opportunity too, to speak about my work and my journey.
Yes, perfect. Could you maybe start with that, like explain to the listener who you are and how your journey has been?
Well, my name is Luxolo Witvoet, and I'm 30 years of age, and I was born in the Eastern Cape in the dawn of, democracy. And I moved to Cape Town in 2001 with my mother after the separation of my parents. And I did most of my schooling here. And yeah, I've been practicing as an artist now for, I would say, the past 5 or 6 years, I think. Yeah.
And how did you start with art? How did you get involved in it?
In art, in the past when I've done interviews with other local publications, I would always skip the true beginning. I would always start from varsity or, when I was in my early 20s. However, in hindsight, when I do look back, my journey truly started as when I was a child. I believe as children, we all get to be creative, And for me, my journey truly does start with my dad back in the Eastern Cape when I was still a child, because my dad used to be the church cameraman. So I was exposed to cameras at quite an early age. And also my dad used to draw. So drawing is something that I related to, because my dad did it. So I always forget, that part that, I had cameras at home as a kid. And, I started drawing quite early as well. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you then, did you start with education in art, or did you start making yourself? How did that happen?
Okay. Could you repeat that question again for me?
So after your childhood, how did you start making art yourself?
So I would say around grade 4, I started drawing Dragon Ball Z. We used to buy those Simba chips or Lays or knickknacks, and they would have a small token. And I started drawing those first, and then I would color them, and then do a print in the print store. That's back when I used to stay in Guguletu, which is a township here in Cape Town. And I would make a print, a black and white print, and then I would sell it for R1 during that time. And I think I got my confidence quite early. The fact that some of my classmates would actually be willing to purchase a copy. And I would keep the original. But at that time, I didn't look at it as art. It was just a fun hobby. I was just a kid. And then as I got older, when I reached matric, I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of a career path or in terms of what I wanted to study. However, when I was in matric in 2011, when we took the September holiday, which is about a week long, the day before school opened, it was a Sunday, I was just browsing through the TV, and literally as I was shuffling, through the channels, I landed on SABC2, and the opening credits to this Vladimir Trenchikov documentary was rolling, and I got to watch this Trenchikov documentary. I don't know if you're familiar with Trenchikov.
No, I don't.
So you don't know Trenchy?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm calling him Trenchy as if I knew him personally. But Trenchy was so the documentary was made in association with the SABC, in partnership with the South African National Gallery, which was literally 5 minutes away from my school, because I went to high school in Cape Town High, just in Gardens. And so I watched this documentary, and I was, fascinated by it. And then at the end of the documentary, it mentioned that there's a retrospective. I didn't even know what that is, but the retrospective of his work at the South African National Gallery. And I had only been there once during a school trip. So I knew, okay, this thing is close by, So I ended up going on a Friday, when school opened that Friday, I ended up going in for free because I was still underage. I think I was under the age of 18. And then I got to immerse myself in Vladimir Trenchikov's work. And I'd say that was my real first, exposure to fine arts, I would say. And it really had an impact in me, especially since I was still undecisive, on what to do with my life after matric, which ended with me taking a gap year to figure myself out. But that really did something. It really inspired me a lot.
I need to check him out. How would you describe what role does South Africa or Cape Town play in your work and your artistic process?
Okay, let me think about that. I would say a lot of my work, is based on my experiences, and based on stories that I want to portray, tell, unravel, some from memory, from the distant past, things that I had witnessed. So since my whole life pretty much has revolved around this city, a lot of the stories that I tell are about the city. Stories I tell through photography are based on the city and the communities around the space and the city. So it has a strong influence in my work from the time when in the Castle of Good Hope, there used to be artist studios. I would visit, especially during my gap here, like artists that are quite prominent now, like Kaya Witvoet, Ronald Muchatuta, Tafatsa Tega, Ayanda Mapulu. They were practicing artists at that time, in the city. So it has, it does instill me with inspiration, and it carries like so much history, and so many stories, yet to even be told. So pretty much Cape Town is, I can say, as much as I was not born here, but it's all I know, it's what I know, it's what I'm used to. Yeah. Yeah, so it does play a huge role in my work.
And I saw in your work, like, you've also dealt with decolonization, for instance, in your work where the Drum magazine logo is at, and the artwork Reappropriate, where you critically engage with colonial histories. I'm really interested in this because maybe it's also good to know for the listener that apart from Bush Radio, for my study, I'm currently writing a thesis on how contemporary art museums can actively work on decolonization. And I wonder, like, if you could explain how you approach decolonization in your art.
Okay, I'm just processing my thoughts right now. So those particular works that you mentioned, Reappropriate, I believe that was 2020 work, and the Drum logo works, that was 2022. So also just to go back to your question on art, how my journey in art began. So from grade 1, I did my grade 1 in Eastern Cape. Then I did my grade 2 to grade 4 in Cape Town in a Xhosa speaking school. And then from grade 5, my mom moved me to English speaking school, which was predominantly colored and Muslim students in Athlone. So in grade 5, some things you forget, So in grade 5, our English teacher, she was our English teacher and our arts and culture teacher. So there was a day when we had a lesson on Pablo Picasso. So his name just always just stuck with me. And, as I got older, I got to learn about, how impactful, and just revered and just legendary this human being was, and the amount of impact. His name is just synonymous with art. So with the art, Reappropriate, what I can recall about it, where I was mentally at the time I made it, which was during lockdown. It was also me using my digital, device, my phone to make works, Reappropriate pretty much was me learning about the fact that throughout art history, African and Black artists are not mentioned in a lot of history books, if not all. However, they were practicing during all those, different movements. There were Black artists locally in the continent and abroad that were practicing and making art. However, they were sidelined. And also learning the fact that when the artists in Europe, during the dawn of modern art, when they had to figure out new ways of making art because photography had completely made realism painting like lose its thing, its essence. When they had to find, new ways and approaches of making art, they tend to African cultures, African masks, African photographs, So to learn the fact that, our history had an influence in figures such as Picasso. However, our artists were never actually are not in the history books. They were never acknowledged. They were always sidelined. So reappropriate in a way, it's because I love Picasso as an artist. I love his work. I love his contribution. It was a nod, but at the same time, it was what's the word that I'm looking for now? But at the same time, also it was acknowledging. It was taking back, because he never acknowledged, where he got his inspiration from. For him to begin creating the ground-breaking work, that he was known for, which featured a lot of masks and abstraction and so forth, and his figures being distorted and so forth. So it was also to sort of take back, and acknowledge our contribution to modern art.
And also on that, if people are looking at your artworks, what message or feeling do you hope that audiences take away from experiencing your art?
That is a very good question. As I'm growing as an artist, I've experienced some. I took a break for a short while. Experienced some hiccups and had to go through life experiences. So every time I create, it's phases. It's different phases. The work reappropriate in the drum works. That was a particularly different phase, in my life. Now I'm in a completely new phase. However, overall, I think I want people to feel like a nostalgic, vintage, wooden, those old antique furnitures that our grandmothers used to have. I would like that homely feeling of nostalgia of a Sunday supper cooked by your mom, with the 7 colors. That's the feeling, I'd like people to have. And I just would like my work to inspire others and educate, each other and, bring about topics that spark a conversation, spark inspiration, and hopefully people can connect to my work, universally as well. Yeah.
And you just mentioned you're in a new phase in your artistic work. How would you describe the evolution and what you're currently working on? So
currently now I'm working on translating the works that I began in 2020, which I did on my phone digitally. And that language, which was influenced by my drawing and my paintings as well. But due to us being at home during that time and not having materials, then I turned to a drawing app. Then I began a series of drawings. Probably I have hundreds of them. I love, the language and the style and the form and the colors and just the representation of them. However, they live in a digital realm. So now I've been in a process since this year started of translating this language into traditional format, which is using paint on canvas. So that's the current phase now that I'm experimenting and exploring.
Sounds great. And also in Art Speakers, I'd like to delve deeper into accessibility of the arts. I saw on your Instagram that you offer your prints at affordable prices, especially aimed at younger people.
Yes.
Why is that important to you?
That's a very good question. Speaking about somebody like Trenchikov. So Trenchikov was a bit of I mean, not to resemble myself to him, but he was someone whom he was, I believe, a Russian immigrant. You know, he had to flee the war and eventually migrated, ended up in South Africa and continued his practice as an artist. So Trenchy was a bit of an outsider. He was never really welcomed by the local community in Cape Town. And they always call this art kitsch or quiche. So Trenchy, what he liked to do, at some point he became so rich, you know, they likened him to Picasso, you know, during his time. But what Trenchy liked to do was make prints of his original works. And his target audience were people from the township who appreciated but could not afford art. I think that would actually be such an interesting project or documentary to see if there's still some homes that have his prints. But he would make prints of his work and sell them so that they could be accessible, you know, to people that, you know, are not even allowed, you know, to experience art in art spaces or art galleries, but enjoy, you know, the work that he does, because part of his work also was painting, you know, members of the fishing community and members from the Black community as well. So I always liked that, you know, the fact that he made his work accessible to people. So for me, I feel and believe that the next collectors are people, you know, of my generation, you know, young people will be the next, you know, big collectors. I think it's time that, you know, we would pass down the baton. So I want to make my work accessible to young people who are interested in collecting art, even those whom the idea never, you know, crossed their minds. You know, the fact that they can say, oh, actually, I can afford this. Maybe it can start a journey for them to actually start collecting more work. So, yeah, I just saw that gap. And I thought, let me, you know, offer my work to young people that want to collect art. And, just create that bridge, you know, and that opportunity.
And also on accessibility, like what challenges did you face or maybe still as a young independent artist in South Africa today? Like and also what keeps you motivated despite maybe those challenges, or how do you overcome them?
I think it's a journey. I think some challenges I've yet to face. Some challenges I'm not aware of. But I would say the challenges that I've faced were access to information, you know, about, I guess, the business information to how to carry yourself, you know, as a business, as an artist, you know, and being privy to the workings, you know, the business side, you know, of the art world, you know, and just not being aware of that information. Things such as, you know, your photograph has to be editioned, your prints have to be editioned, you need a artist print, a printer's proof and editioned certificate of authenticity. Things such as that, like you learn, like I would say, information. Yeah, that's been one. What else would I say? Yeah, I would say that's one, information, and I get to the solutions has been through being open to mentorship. That's been very important. Just being open to mentorship, being open to criticism and feedback, and not taking things personal or taking things to heart, but knowing that everything is there to, the information you're being given back is there to help you do better in your craft and in the quality in which you produce. Yeah, I can say that. And I think one is something that a lot of artists go through, they went through. Another one is just self-belief, having high self-esteem, you know, and having self-belief, in your work. And also just accepting rejection too. That's really been a challenge. That was a challenge. And not understanding, why me? So yeah, I can say those are some of the challenges. Yes.
And about that self-belief, do you have any tips or advice for listeners who are maybe trying to make a career in the arts or want to start with art?
That's a good question. I can say like a quote that I've formulated, of my own is keep an open mind and have a thick enough skin to filter the information and not internalize it, Everything is to your advantage. You need to have a strong heart, a very, very strong heart. That's one. But be willing to fail. Like, be willing to fail. Be willing to fail. Like, number one, be willing to fail. Be willing to be rejected. To, be open to mistakes. And be willing to grow, But just know every step is towards your growth, and don't take things personal to heart. Like as a artistic person, we emotional, we sensitive, we fragile. So yeah, also like just sometimes we tend to make decisions, based on emotions, which is not a good thing. So if you're highly emotional, just it's okay to feel, but take some time off and just rationalize things, and think them through and make a conscious, sound decision. Yeah, that's what I can say. Like, be open to criticism, be open to feedback. That's very important. If you are afraid and you are aware and you acknowledge it, it's okay. It's fine. If you can confide at least in one person, or even to yourself, like in the mirror, that, actually I'm scared, I'm afraid. It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, just keep an open mind and know that also just understand that not everyone is going to appreciate, admire the work that you do, that you produce. It's like with any art form, music, cinema, even people, we don't like everything, but grow that confidence and grow that self-belief. If you're lacking it, it's not instilled, be willing and be open to evolving as a person. Just know, like a muscle, you can grow it, and it's possible. Yeah, and just believe in yourself, and be willing to fail. Yeah, and be willing to make mistakes.
And then lastly, Luxolo, what are you currently working on? Is there any exhibition or gallery where people can see your work?
So currently I am still developing these works. In terms of exhibitions, there will be exhibitions soon. I just can't say prematurely as of yet. I'm just working and just having fun and just enjoying myself, and trying as much to be disciplined and focused, and just finding the balance to step away from the studio and just distract my mind a little bit. However, I'm just working on these works, just looking forward to completing them and just growing them and just bettering them. Yes.
And where can people follow you?
Okay. Everything Luxolo Witvoet. LuxoloWitvoet. Instagram. Also, I'm just personally also trying to find a balance with the socials. I'm not the best. I'm sure you noticed I'm not the best, but I really do deep down want to find a balance with that, because this is the climate we're living in. That's where people are. And I personally, for me, I'm lacking in that, and I'm aware. And I definitely do want to improve with my engagement and with my work as well, and just getting it across to people.
Thank you so much, Luxolo. It was a real pleasure speaking to you. Is there any last words you want to share with the listener?
I don't know. I think thanks for the gift of your time, and thanks to whoever that will come across this audio or this interview. Thank you for your time as well, for listening. And I hope people will find something about themselves in this interview, and it can be a guide, in their journey of self-discovery.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Camille.
Mm-hmm. That was Luxolo Witvoet. I got a lot of interesting new insights by talking to him, and I did some research also on Vladimir Trenchikov, who was actually a very interesting artist. He has one of the most sold paintings in the world. That work is called Chinese Girl, and commercially is like one of the most successful artists ever existed. So I've got a lot of great new things, and I'm very happy that I had the opportunity to speak with him. Let's continue Art Speakers, still tuned into Art Speakers on Bush Radio 89.5 FM with the next song. But before that, if you want to check out previous episodes of Art Speakers, or you want to listen to this episode, again, you can find it on YouTube. If you search for Art Speakers Bush Radio, then you will find all of those episodes. Let's continue with TIBWF from the Budos Band.
Don't look down. you keep it locked right here. 89.5, man. You got it.
Yo, speak to me. Can you speak? Speak to yourself. Speak to you? Speak to who? Who are you speaking to? Are you speaking? You speaking? Let's speak about art. Art Speakers on Bush Radio 89.5 FM. It is time for the tip of the week, the art tip of the week, where I give you an event in Cape Town. It could be a concert, but also an expo, a theater, something that is related to art. And today, it's the last day of the Cape Town International Jazz Festival, and there are still tickets available for tonight. I'm going myself, and I'm super excited to see Nubaya Garcia perform, but also Tandizwa Mazwai, who I discovered in my first week, I think, in Cape Town back in February. And since then, I listened to her a lot. But that's really not my art tip of the week. If you're looking for free jazz concerts, there's a great option too. Every Tuesday night from 8 p.m., Mojo Market in Sea Point hosts a free jazz concert. And the entrance is completely free. They describe it like this, from sultry saxophones to swinging piano keys, experience the magic of live jazz performances in a vibey, intimate setting. Pair it with craft cocktails, fine wine, and flavors from more than 35 food stalls, and you've got the perfect Tuesday night. So for all jazz lovers, don't miss that out. It's from every Tuesday at 8 p.m. in Mojo Market in Sea Point. And without a doubt, I have to play now a track from Nubaya's latest album, Odyssey. So this is Nubaya Garcia with The Seer. This was my art tip of the week. That was Nubaya Garcia with The Seer, and unfortunately we've come to today's last song. It's the 2003 Moroccan People's Revolutionary Bowls Club from Blur's 23 7th album, Think Tank. And the album cover was made by Banksy, the anonymous British street artist famous for his bold and political graffiti. And the artwork shows a couple trying to kiss while wearing like old-fashioned diving helmets. It's a strong image, and people see different meanings in it. Some say it's about how hard it can be to really connect with someone. Other things, it fits the album themes of love and politics. And Banksy usually stays away from commercial projects like this, but he agreed to design this cover because he liked the music and believed in the project. And the original painting later sold at auction for 75,000 pounds in 2007. So we will end Art Speakers for this week with Moroccan People Revolution Bowls Club by Blur. See you next week. Bye bye.
The rockets we should fear. If we go and let them off, then we will disappear. Then we will disappear. Surely we will disappear. The road is hard and dusty. The desert needs a beer. But if we go and blow it up, then we will disappear. We will disappear. Surely we will disappear. We go and blow it up, then we will disappear. Disappear.